Good morning, all Territorial and Indigenous businesses, communities, and families to this morning's campfire yarn. I hope everyone is doing well today. My name is Bryanna, and I am part of the NT in the Black Indigenous Business Resilience Program. Firstly, I would like to acknowledge and pay respects to all Territorial, Aboriginal, and Torres Strait Islander ancestors, elders, communities, families, and future generations, sister and brother warriors who are creating positive footprints. I'd like to extend my respects to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander elders and community members who may be joining our campfire yarn. Today we are joined at our In the Black campfire with Dr. Michaela Spencer from the Charles Darwin University's Northern Institute. Michaela has a PhD, a Master's in Arts, Bachelor of Science in Arts, and is a Post-Doctoral Research Fellow with CDU's the Northern Institute. Welcome, Michaela, to our campfire yarn this morning. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me here. It's an honor.
Yeah, it's wonderful for you to have us. This morning, Michaela will share information about the Indigenous Researchers Initiative and the provision and benefits of micro-credentialing. Could you please give the community information about the initiative and what it provides regarding micro-credentialing?
Sure, yeah. So this initiative has really grown out of the work that we do here at the Northern Institute as part of the GroundUP research team. And so we do a lot of work, collaborative work with Indigenous knowledge authorities and researchers in a whole lot of communities across the Northern Territory, a lot in Arnhem Land, some in Central Australia, Tiwi Islands, in between. So we're in a lot of different places. And we also work collaboratively with government and other organisations. And what we really found that the success of any projects was always dependent on local expertise and consultants on the ground, but there really wasn't many ways that these people could be recognised for their skills, their knowledge, their generosity that they were bringing to this work. So micro-credentials have really, well, first, the Indigenous Researchers Initiative was a way to start recognising that, showing that these people are local researchers who are very skilled and are open to collaborate with government, other organisations as part of their own businesses. And then we began to add on to that this idea of micro-credentials. So micro-credentials are their recognition for skills and expertise that can be displayed. It's displayed online, so it's an award from CDU, but it's not associated with a large period of study. It actually recognises expertise that people already have, and it's a way of being quite agile. So you may have expertise as a researcher or a consultant and receive one of these credentials, and then you may go on to actually then decide to work more as an evaluator, so you can have another credential that's associated with that and sort of build a portfolio of different skills and knowledge that you have that you can show to others, that you're able to mobilise this as part of your business. And often it can work if you're wanting casual employment, so employment that works for you. Maybe you've got family obligations, maybe often there's business that comes up. And so it's a way to say, look, I want to really control how it is that I work. I don't necessarily want 9 to 5, but I want to be able to work as a local consultant and have people recognise that I have the expertise to do this. And so micro-credentials are quite good for that kind of work.
Right. So what are the benefits exactly of completing the micro-credentialing?
Yeah, I think really a lot of the benefit is visibility.
Yeah.
So when you complete a micro-credential, you have an opportunity to actually create an online website, a web page for yourself, where you can list who you are, where you're from, the type of work that you do, previous work that you've done before. Some people really, take it as an opportunity to put their ABN up the top and say, I'm a local consultant. You can contact me. This is my rate. This is my phone number. And this is the way I would like to work. So it actually gives you an online presence where others can actually see what you're offering and contact you. And I think also for a lot of people, they've done so much work, but often it gets lost.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a place to create a record for that work, build your CV, have links to other projects that you've done, and really be able to show that online. But also it's an opportunity, if you're interested, to have a pathway into further study.
Yeah.
So there are different levels of micro-credential, and the most senior one we offer, that is actually the equivalent to 1 unit of study in the Diploma of Indigenous Research at Charles Darwin University. So receiving the credential then allows you to sort of go in with a head start to that further study.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic. So, what is the minimum required to qualify for the micro-credentialing then?
Yeah. So as I said, at the moment, we're working with 3 different core credentials, and this really responds to how people have told us they want to work. So there's a senior Indigenous researcher credential, and this is really for those very experienced older advisors. So people that have done a lot of work in the past, and really have the capacity to, with the cultural authority, to oversee what's being done, and they can be recognised for that. We also have a more, so what the qualification for that would be just evidence of past work done.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a more mid-level credential, and this is often for people that do a lot of the running around. Yeah. They're not necessarily that elder advisor, but they're skilled and experienced in their community, urban or remote, and really they can work collaboratively with universities or other organisations, really helping to get the work done. And so the minimum requirement for that is that they attend a research induction, but they do show that they have carried out some research or consultancy work kind of on the job, and that they do this with a sense of how to work ethically. So how to work ethically with the people that they're working, how to connect also to university ethics processes. Yeah, so that's a requirement there. And then the most junior badge we offer is for people really just coming in, maybe younger folk who need to gain a little bit of confidence, and perhaps they join their family members who are working as researchers or consultants, and they can actually just sort of sit beside, watch, learn. But that's a really important role because they'll be stepping into those higher levels soon. Yeah, so again, they just need a research induction, and to show that they're doing some collaborative work. But always with these, I think it's good to have a conversation with us at CDU, and we can really work out how to tailor the credentials to people's specific needs. So yes, there are some set requirements, but it's also quite flexible, and we'd be very interested to talk to people about what their needs are and how we could work together.
That's fantastic. Can you explain what intercultural consultancy is and how it relates for Indigenous businesses?
Yeah, so I think this is really what the credentials in our initiative is focused around, this kind of intercultural space. And I think, I mean, really at heart, I think that's that careful work between Indigenous ways of being, knowing and doing, and often the assumptions and practices of more Western organisations. And to sort of work between those two things is really difficult sometimes. It's very skilled work, but very important. And I think when partnership is happening, this is really crucial. So we work a lot with an organisation, Yarlumungathinuro, that's in Gallowinkel, and they really understand, I think, their role to be, to really, when new projects or grants or initiatives come in from outside, to sit down and really look at those things and think, okay, how do we negotiate this or translate it so it's really right for people here in our community? Right. So that kind of, translation to keep things safe for everybody involved. I think that's intercultural work. I think it can be across different languages, but not always. And I think it's also just, I think in instances of partnership, if there are governments, universities, other organisations wanting to work in communities, it's really just helping to guide that work so that everyone is speaking to the right people, so the right authorities are approached, so there isn't any poor practice around how everyone engages with each other, and so the best outcomes can just come out for everybody. And that can't be done by external people. That really needs a lot of local knowledge, a lot of local expertise. It's the only way it can happen.
Yeah, exactly. Well, is there any other additional information you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, I think we do have a website, and if anyone is interested in this kind of work or these kinds of credentials, maybe you could start there by taking a look. The website's just rii.cdu.edu.au, or if you Google Indigenous Researchers Initiative, it will come up. But you can see there, that banner at the top there, it shows that really we're working from the Pandanus and the sea all the way across to the salt bush in the centre of Australia, and we're often based in the Northern Territory, but it can expand beyond there. So working across all of these areas, and the Indigenous Research Initiative is really just there to support people who want to work as researchers or consultants and to grow that as their own business opportunity. And we can actually click in there. You do actually see the researchers who we're working with already. So these are people who are collaborating on projects and have received or are working towards receiving micro-credentials. And they show where people work. So we have a lot in Gallowinkel, Darwin, Alice Springs, and then inside each of those little profiles, that's where people talk about what they do and how they do it. Wow. So we're very keen to work with more people. We have a collaboration with Rheumatic Heart Disease Australia at the moment, where they have a whole group of community champions who are working in this way and are looking to be micro-credentialed, and they will probably soon appear here, and our researchers will appear on their website. So we're looking just to grow networks of people who are available to work in their communities and are also putting their hand up to say, yeah, we'd love to partner with others. Please help us do this. So yeah, check out the website, and my contact details are there, the contact details of my team, and we're very happy to chat to anyone who's interested about this kind of work.
Wow. It's incredible what you and CDU are doing for the community. That's wonderful. Well, Michaela, thank you for sitting by our campfire and having a yarn about the benefits of micro-credentialing and the intercultural facilitation in Indigenous business. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It's been great. Thanks.
And thank you to all who joined our campfire yarn today. I would like to end our yarn as I started by acknowledging all Territorial, Aboriginal, and Torres Strait Islander ancestors, elders, communities, families, and future generations, sister and brother warriors who are creating positive footprints. I'd like to extend my respects to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander elders and community members who may be joining our campfire yarn. If you are watching the replay on Facebook, to get access to the program, you have to be a Northern Territory-based Indigenous business. Comment with the word deadly and you will receive a message to connect with us in the group. If you're watching this on YouTube, click on the link in the description below. The program will be running until October this year and is designed for your business. Thank you again for joining us, and make sure to join us this Wednesday for our yarning circle and another deadly guest speaker. Stay tuned and have a good day.